So this exhibition, Christian Dior, is about the first 10 years of the house of Maison Christian Dior from 1947 to 1957. And it looks at the clothes and how they were made and who wore them. And all the dresses are from our permanent collection at the Royal Ontario Museum. So it records the social life of Toronto and Montreal in this post-war period, as well as the stories of the manufacturers who made the textiles, the embroiderers, the beaders, and merchants who sold the things in Canada.
We're with Lillian Weiss, who is a beautiful woman who lives outside of Toronto in Kitchener-Waterloo. She is the original owner of this beautiful black and red Christian Dior dress. Probably she purchased it at Holt's or Creed's back in the early 1950s. She has donated it to the ROM for their very special 70th anniversary tribute to Christian Dior. And also, there's a beautiful, beautiful evening coat around the corner from Pondicherry. The beading is outstanding. Again, it was purchased in Toronto by this amazing woman who is a beautiful example of a Dior woman in every way.
Thank you.
And my friend Lillian Weiss, I'm quite happy to know her.
There's a small nightclub about 10 miles from Kitchener that I used to go every Friday night and with my husband, and I would wear all the clothes, the designer clothes that I had, and I would get many, many compliments. So it was a pleasure wearing them because everybody thought they were so beautiful, including myself.
I've worked on this period of post-war haute couture for a very long time, and I'm very familiar with the collection, and it seemed an appropriate time in the 70th anniversary of Christian Dior to get our things out and have an exhibition at this time.
It's a really interesting experience to observe the real historical artifacts in such close proximity.
This exhibition is organized by day wear, late afternoon, early evening, and evening wear, as well as the cases around the exhibit look at the world of Christian Dior, what you could buy, the products, the perfume, the jewelry, the shoes, the hats, the gloves, all these kinds of things. And then the manufacturers, the textile makers, the beaders, the embroiderers, who were essential to make these exquisite clothes.
I found this exhibition just fascinating. Particularly of interest to me was this tartan day coat and another jacket on the other side, worn by Lillian Weiss, who is here, and I was talking to her, which made it even more exciting to me.
I've done a lot of research on Christian Dior, and I wrote a book about him that looked at his licensing and kind of the world of Christian Dior. So he made handbags. He had a big boutique where things were for sale in Paris. He had perfumes such as this for traveling. He had made perfumes for your dressing table. He had lipsticks for your dressing table and lipsticks for your purse, and shoes for day and evening, and stockings. So everything that you could imagine you would need to conduct your day, Christian Dior created for you, and even stockings. So there might be something you could afford that was Christian Dior.
I was particularly intrigued by the shoes in this display because of they look comfortable, they look classic, they look like shoes you could wear today. These red ones particularly I would buy, I would wear if I could afford. But I know I could wear them with the clothes I wear today, even though they were created for something many years ago. Of all the shoes in the exhibit, these are my absolute favorite. They are a silk hand-woven tartan in very pale blue and beige, I guess you'd call it. They look, again, very comfortable. They look so classic, one could wear them today. And they go with the dress, which is pictured right here.
For this exhibition, we looked very much at the embroideries and the textiles and tried to identify as many people behind each piece behind each dress as possible. So we know who made it, what atelier it was made in, who it was made for, what mannequin it was fit for. Often we know the textile manufacturer, the embroiderer, in one case the button maker. So it's behind the one label of Christian Dior, there's many, many people. And then, of course, there's also the stores that sold it and the women who wore it. So these clothes have a larger kind of social life and many, many names actually attached to the dresses. And that's what I'm interested in recording.
Another thing I noticed was the intricacy of the construction of the dresses, the corseting to keep the strapless dresses up. I found that really interesting to see how that was done. It amazed me the number of people involved in making one dress. No wonder they're so expensive.
So when the House of Christian Dior opened in 1947, it was Carmel Snow, the editor of Harper's Bazaar, who named what his new collection the New Look, and said, "Monsieur Dior, you've designed such a new look." And what was new about it was that it signified that the war was over, that this was a new time and a peaceful time. And it was new because it wasn't the wartime silhouette. The wartime silhouette was square shoulders, shoulder pads, short skirts, shortages of material. And what Dior offered was soft shoulders, cinched-in waist, long skirts, a completely different idea of femininity that took off throughout the 50s. So if you were not really wearing a Dior dress, you were wearing a dress influenced by Christian Dior throughout the 50s.
I think it's really interesting to see how has the fashion evolved since his times and how it really used to be like fashion as art. As opposed to what's happening now, and it's really wonderful to see the work, craftsmanship, dedication and passion that he has put into his works, and you can really see that he really loved women. I think he really did love them, because the dresses looked amazing and they made anyone looked the most beautiful version of themselves, for real. I recommend seeing this exhibition to anyone who is not only interested in fashion, but also for those who are interested in general culture, even in Canadian culture, because it shows many Canadian women who wore his designs and connection of Dior with Holt Renfrew. And it's also a really interesting exhibition for those interested in art, in culture.
There are some absolutely amazing dresses to be seen in this exhibit, plus other accessories like the shoes, the jewelry, the perfume. It's all really worth a visit. It opens this weekend, the 25th of November, and will be here until the spring. So do come down and drool over these gorgeous dresses.